Alright, good morning. Thank you very much for tuning in to my channel. Please consider hitting that button just so you can see more of my videos in the future. I intend to do a follow-up to this one. So I'm looking at the Holtek HT8950 integrated circuit. And this is a schematic that appears in the data sheet, and this particular circuit requires a very specific op-amp integrated circuit which I don't have. So that part of the schematic diagram is not going to get built. What you are going to watch is basically me recording myself through the process of assembling this chip. So there won't be a lot of talking. But thank you very much for watching. Again, consider subscribing because I plan on creating a follow-up video troubleshooting this circuit a little bit, and you may not want to miss it. Thank you very much.
Купи мне вещи. Пылесос для вашего кошелька. 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 Деньги, ау, дай мне, деньги, ау, я хочу, деньги, ау, дай мне, деньги, ау, я хочу, счета в долларах. Купи мне вещи, купи мне вещи, купи мне вещи, купи мне вещи. Я научу тебя. Готов? Пойдем. 1, 2, 3. Готов? Пойдем. Отлично. Супер. Классно. Готов? Пойдем. Хорошо. Лучше. Великолепный. Готов? Пойдем. Вот это да. Так мило. Мило-мило. Готов? Пойдем. Удивительный. Продолжай пытаться. У тебя все отлично. Хорошо смотритесь. Удивительный. Продолжай пытаться. У тебя все отлично. Хорошо смотритесь. Удивительный. Продолжай пытаться. У тебя все отлично. Хорошо смотритесь. Удивительный. Продолжай пытаться. У тебя все отлично. Хорошо смотритесь.
Okay, so this is just an update because some of the things I did here, I didn't record myself on camera doing. So I added the power line and I added the LED. And to be honest, I accidentally put the LED on this side, which was a mistake. So I had to fix that and correct that. But as it turns out, this required a power supply on pin 11 anyway, so it actually ended up working out fine. Another thing, it's recommended that the power supply is connected to a Zener diode, which I suppose has like a breakover or avalanche voltage, which is set at 3.6 volts. Well, I may or may not have one of these in my collection of parts, but instead of using this type of power supply to achieve 3.6 volts, whatever the idea is here, I just went ahead and I actually made a bunch of them. I made three 3.3 volt regulators. So I think in the data sheet this called for the voltage to be from 2 to 4 volts, and this schematic is recommending 3.6 volts. This actually comes out of the data sheet, this diagram. So 3.3 volts will probably do just fine. Of course, I'm only going to use one of these in my circuit. I'll just leave that there for a second. This schematic of how to hook up a 3.3 volt regulator, this chip is the LD33V. Sorry, I'm writing that side. Okay, that's backwards. LD33. I'm writing this sideways. So that's terrible. It's called this, and that's ultimately the chip I have. This is the recommended circuit when people are trying to use 3.3 volt sensors and use them with an Arduino. This seems like a very popular schematic that's relied upon online. And this is a 0.1 microfarad capacitor on the input. The input would be the power line here. And then this is 10 microfarad here. So this is like a 104 ceramic capacitor. I don't know how visible that is. And it's hooked up. Well, you can see. So that's how I'm going to power the chip. Well, the circuit's starting to get a little bit messy, and I haven't captured everything on camera, but I'm working on pins 12, 13, and 14. Once again, I made a modification where I'm going to make this resistor on pin 13 a potentiometer. Actually, 3 different potentiometers. So we'll see how it goes. And yeah, I've already soldered the 3 wires on. complete this part of the circuit with the 47K resistor swapped out for this big honky set of 10K resistors. Actually 10, 20, 30, 40, 50K. Okay, so now I need to find a 4.7 microfarad capacitor. Oh, I found one. But really I'm just showing off to the camera my collection of capacitors, which I neatly organized. Got it. 25 volt rating. Here's a little more showing off. Here's my capacitor in my capacitor tester and the kit box that I built for it. So there we are there. 4,833 nanofarads. I need to know what that is in micro. Well, I'll just assume that's correct.
Я научу тебя. Готов? Пойдем. 1, 2, 3. Готов? Пойдем. Отлично. Супер. Классно. Готов? Пойдем. Хорошо. Лучше. Великолепный. Готов? Пойдем. Вот это да. Так мило. Мило-мило. Готов? Пойдем. Удивительный. Продолжай пытаться. У тебя все отлично. Хорошо смотритесь. Удивительный. Продолжай пытаться. У тебя все отлично. Хорошо смотритесь. Удивительный. Продолжай пытаться. У тебя все отлично. Хорошо смотритесь. Удивительный. Продолжай пытаться. У тебя все отлично. Хорошо смотритесь.
So I hooked up my power supply to the circuit, and this is promising because it's doing something. When I look at the schematic, it said that the first button, was the robot, and this one was the vibe. I haven't sorted out all the switches yet. Speed control somehow, so I don't... But anyway, just to show that it's actually doing something, which is a partial success for me, this one is vibe, which is the vibrato. There's two oscillators on pins 13 and 14, and then there's a function vibe button on pin 12. Anyway, I read the data sheet. It says you push the vibe button once, it turns it on or off. My modification was to substitute this 47K resistor for 3 10K trim pots. And actually, there's not just 3 10K trim pots. There's actually some fixed 10K resistors in here as well. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50K altogether. Good morning. Thank you very much for watching so far. I would just like to show that I have this temporarily hooked up, and I might make some more modifications later. But I'm using my power supply hooked up to the circuit I created, and then I plugged it into this amplifier circuit. And I'm using this smaller circuit just to power an electret microphone. So I'll turn the speaker on. Lots of noise on the op amp. So right now I have the thank you for watching my YouTube channel. I appreciate you watching. Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3. Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3. Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3. Okay, so I haven't completely figured out all the settings. This is the robot button, this is the vibrato, and this is the tone up and down buttons. And these switches somehow change some kind of overall settings. And this is in the data sheet, but I still haven't completely understood it. The tones can change. It doesn't seem to be fixed like you think it should. Like, sometimes they get a very deep tone. Here's the vibrato. I'll try talking into it. Vibrato, 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 vibrato. And then I actually hooked it up. Vibrato, vibrato, vibrato. Kind of unnecessary. That doesn't sound very good, does it? The only problem is the sound coming out of it is not very intelligible. Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3. Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3. Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3.